Hi guys, Louie here, and we are going to dive deep into the Costco story today and see what we can figure out together. Before we do, I ran a little poll yesterday to ask people why do they think Costco is selling precious metals. 1 second, and we will call that poll up and see how you guys all voted. All right, here is the poll that I put up last night. We got a couple of comments. Let me make sure I update this. And okay, so we have how many people? 163 votes. Okay, so 163 of you weighed in to the question, why do you think Costco is selling precious metals? And I think it's an interesting question, and it is definitely a game changer in the precious metals market and probably good for our community, but maybe bad in some ways. And I'd like to look towards their motivation to see if we think this is the next big thing, and if you should just wait to buy anything until Costco comes out with it because you might get it cheaper there. Well, it's an important question, I think, for those of us that are buying metals and trying to get the best price. So, why do you think Costco is selling precious metals? Corner the market and put bullion dealers out of business? Pump up their revenue for Wall Street because the economy sucks? Sell a ton of executive club memberships at $120 each? It's a marketing gimmick to increase customers, or I don't care, I just like cheap metals. Well, we'll start with that one. Quite a few people said they don't care, they just want the cheap metals. But if you want to dig a little deeper, well, let's see, the next highest category was it's a marketing gimmick to increase their customers. And they are drawing more customers in, clearly. The next runner up was pump up their revenue for Wall Street because the economy sucks. And I'll tell you my thoughts at the end of this, but I think that is a reasonable choice. Next best is to sell a ton of executive club memberships, which would spike their bottom line and also bring in more customers, right? Because once you pick up that executive club membership, you might do more shopping on Costco. You do get nice, hefty rebates at the end of the year. And the lowest one was corner the market and put bullion dealers out of business. You guys generally don't think they are up to that. In terms of the comments, we have got, I have to look at all comments. And okay, Dam Runner 1 says, I think they are an established and trustworthy business that seeks an opportunity to capitalize on a major market trend. Americans being told their currency is dying. The regular guy on the street can see that in their personal economy. And are in jeopardy. Okay, yeah, that's good. And to make a profit. Yeah, of course, they want to make a profit, but they also want their stock price to go up. Okay, so there is the poll, and you can still vote in that if you want. It's still open. But let's go back to the story. All right, now this was published in the financial markets, and it's a discussion of what is behind Costco's success, and they are having success lately. And they say another factor behind robust e-commerce comps. Last October, Costco began selling gold bars exclusively online, and to say that demand has been healthy would be an understatement. In the fourth quarter, Costco sold 100 million worth of gold bars, and it's believed that the company is now selling at least that much, and some people say 100 million to 200 million on a monthly basis. Then after that, they introduced silver coins in March, and those silver are also off to a hot start. The main takeaway is that Costco capitalized on a combination of company-specific new mobile app, etc., Apple Pay, and macro-related factors, rising fuel, gold, and silver prices in March. From a bigger picture perspective, Costco continues to be a share gainer in the retail space, and its strong March comps illustrate that once again. So if we had to put a size on this, I'd say we have 200 million a month in gold, and maybe even, I don't know, 50 million or so. Let's call it a quarter billion. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's call it a $250 million a month in metals. I'm just making that up and guessing. And then that would be about they could be selling as much as, and they're just getting started, $3 billion a year in precious metals. Okay, that is the magnitude of the move that they're making here. So we've quantified that with an estimated guess, right? $3 billion a year. Well, let's take a look at their revenue. So their annual revenue, now check this out. Their annual revenue last year was $242 billion, and they are projected for their revenue in the first quarter. Have they released that yet? I think they released that. I don't know if this is estimate. Maybe they haven't released it yet, but to go to 254 billion in the first quarter, 278 billion in the second quarter, 290 in the third, 310. Now these are curious estimates to me from their own from the company itself in the public markets. They're looking for really robust growth. And, if a few billion of precious metals helps them get there, then that could be part of the driver, just an increase in revenue. The economy seems to be turning down. So it is a rather curious estimate, in my opinion. I don't think they'll hit these revenue targets because I don't think the economy is going to be that strong in 2025. Now, if we want to look at their profits, now this is very interesting. So these bars are a little bit confusing, but I think this is the average analyst estimate for what Costco is doing, or perhaps it's Costco itself estimates. I'm not positive, but the market thinks this. This is the silver price has been skyrocketing higher, okay, along with the general markets, but from price of what? It was down around $500 a share a few quarters ago and hit a high of nearly $800 a share. Now it's in the low 700s. So the Costco profit perspective has been going very well. But you have to ask yourself, why? Here we have the estimate for Q3 at 3. So last EPS was 392 in the second quarter. Oh yeah, the second quarter would include some of those bullion sales. The third quarter, they're assuming that their profit margin declines, okay? Then they get a spike in the fourth quarter, probably for Christmas shopping, and then back to about 380. So they are predicting generally flat profits over the next year. And you have to ask yourself, are bullion sales part of that? Or are they actually assuming revenues will be increasing and profits will not? And that makes me wonder why the stock price is going up. I wouldn't buy a stock like that. But there is the dynamic of increasing revenue estimates and flat profit margins, or flat profit estimates. And if revenues are going up and EPS is staying flat, that means that their profit margins are declining. And I think that is part of what may happen with their bullion sales. I ask myself, why does a company like Costco want to get into the lowest profit margin business there is, especially if they are not an authorized reseller for the U.S. Mint? So this is very curious to me, and it could be a short-term gimmick to spike their revenue, but the margins are generally not going to cooperate when they get into selling something that is such a low-margin business. And here is proof directly from the U.S. Mint that the authorized purchasers of the United States Mint, there are only 9 in the U.S., 1 abroad. So here they are, in case you don't know who gets their Silver Eagles for $3 over spot. That's about what the U.S. Mint charges. A-Mark Precious Metals, the Borg, that owns JM Bullion, Provident, and about a dozen other companies that don't go under the A-Mark name, but they are partially or wholly owned by A-Mark. These are almost always the higher-priced retailers. A-Mark Precious Metals is also BlackRock as an owner, and A-Mark, etc. Okay, and others you may not know: Coins and Things, Fidelitrade, Manfra, the Gold Center, American APMEX, okay, APMEX, Dillon Gage, they're also big. You may know their name. Jack Hunt and StoneX Bullion. Very interesting. But you notice Costco is not an authorized purchaser from the U.S. Mint. And the stories that have been told recently say that they are cleaning out, some of the purchasers of all their precious metals so they can release them into the market. And we know we're in this, $2.5 billion per year possible, activity of theirs. So they are buying a lot of precious metals, and where they're buying them from, I don't know, but I do know it's not from the U.S. Mint, and I would surmise it is not at $3 over spot for silver eagles, or the premiums that these dealers get for gold eagles, for example. And where are they getting their pamp bars, etc.? Well, they might be sourcing those from overseas, possibly, and a strong dollar also is helpful in importing gold from overseas, so maybe that's part of the story. But when they buy from an A-Mark affiliate or from APMEX or one of these others, they have to be paying, well, I think they have to be paying more than the U.S. Mint premium, which is generally pretty low because, the U.S. Mint sells eagles at $3, then the dealers try to sell them to you at $6 over spot. Or there is possibly another perspective, and this could be as well, that because silver is an oversupply right now in the retail market, high demand in the commodity and the industrial market, and low demand in the stacker market, right? The retail part of the market, the lower part of the market, lots of coins and bars out there. You can pick them up readily, pretty low premiums. I think this may also be a way where there has been a handshake between Costco and some of these other big dealers to unload their excess inventory, because I think they do possibly have some excess inventory. And I know that runs counter to the thread that the U.S. Mint is not, putting silver eagles on allotment, for example. But if they're putting them on allotment, why are they doing that if they made 2.5 million coins in April? Yes, they surprised the market completely. It wasn't 700,000. They cranked out 2.5 million coins in April, would put them on a 30 million a year run rate, which would be completely adequate to supply the retail market, unless something changes. If silver cracks over $30, you'll see all the eagles disappear. But the story has changed, and we need to keep up with the current facts. U.S. Mint is producing a lot of silver eagles of late, and maybe some of these dealers bought them and wholesaled them to APMEX. But I still think APMEX is probably paying more than the lower premiums that these authorized purchasers pay. Okay, I'm just surmising here. What else do we have for you? Okay, so Wells Fargo says that they could be hitting 100 to 2 million per month in gold per month. I think correct. So Wells Fargo suggests that the Costco offerings of precious metals was a way to add value to the company's brand. And it is a very low profit business at best. At best, it's low profit. Okay, and if they are selling these eagles under spot after rebates. Okay, you have to understand, Costco has to pay the credit card charges, which could be 2-3% when you buy with a credit card, okay? And they have to give back money on the executive club memberships, which are another 2%. So Costco is probably taking a 4 or 5% haircut on every ounce of gold they sell. And that would tell me that they're losing money. They're actually losing money net on every precious metal they sell. Now, if we want to get over to what they're selling them for, okay, here we go. Now I'm going to show you the three comparatives here. No, not that one. Here we go. Here is the Costco deal. The last Costco deal came out yesterday, a gold buffalo at $2,390 per ounce. That is what they were selling it for, and you could use a credit card to buy it, and it does qualify for your executive club membership rebate. Okay, $23.90 per ounce for gold. After a 4% rebate that virtually everybody that has a credit card is getting 2% rebates. If you're not, check out the cards I recommend on my website, bestsilvergolddeals.com, where I bring these alerts to you. But you can 23.90 minus 4%, 22.94 out the door, and that is under spot. Okay, so Costco, after charges, is selling Gold Eagles under spot and buying them, I guarantee, for more than the retailers, the resellers, the first tier resellers are getting them for. So they are losing money on every Gold Eagle they sell, right? And I suspect the Silver Eagles, which are also in the 31s or so, maybe they're making some money on the Silver Eagles, but maybe 31, maybe high 30s after those rebates. They might be making $1 on the Silver Eagles. Maybe they're making more on the Pamp bars. They're selling a lot of Pamp bars. They're probably getting those pretty cheap from Europe. And maybe they're making some of this up on the Pamp bars. I suggest you avoid the bar deals because they're not much cheaper than the Buffalo and the Eagle deals for gold. And, just wait for the Buffalo. That's why the Buffalo sells out so fast. It's the highest priced gold you can find out there, and people snap it up quickly, and they're getting it for under spot. Now, if you want to look at the next best deal, and again, these links are on my website, I'll post a link to this deal as well. It might have changed a little bit, but on eBay you can pick up this Gold Eagle for $2,414.80, and this morning it might be a hair different. And if you apply a 3% credit card rebate, like the PayPal credit card, you can pick it up and be using it, right away. Then you can get 3% off, and that would put your buy price at $23.46. Not as good as the Costco deal. That's why people are getting the Costco deal. But you can buy this every day at around $23.46 through eBay from a reputable dealer like Bullion LLC. I know them. I've bought from them. And you're getting a good deal. If you're buying in the aftermarket, did I put up a deal in the aftermarket? Give me 1 second here. Let me show you what. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to my website. That's the best place to just check who's cheapest every day. And if we go to Gold Buffaloes, the very cheapest price in the traditional bullion market is Liberty Coin, and those are $2,378. So you got $2,380, and you'd pay $24.20 or so on AppMex. But best deal you can find online, $23.80 or so. If you use eBay, $23.48, and if you get that Costco deal, $23. What was that? I'm going to have lost it here. Preview. Yeah, let me get this out of here. That Costco deal was hitting off at $22.94 out the door. Okay, now you don't get the 2% Executive Club until the end of the year, and I don't know when Costco records that in their revenue. They probably pick up that revenue from the $120 fee they get in the current year, in the current quarter, and all the payouts. Maybe they present those in the in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure how they do that, but there are the dynamics of gold gold and silver at Costco, and why people are buying it, how cheap it is related to the overall market, and what their motivation would be. So here is the chart of their stock. So here is their stock price over the last year. As I said, around 550, and then it spikes up to nearly 800, and now it's at pushing 750. But, I tend to think this move into precious metals is going to depress their profits. As they've told you themselves, they're looking for flat profit margins. I think it could bring more customers into the store. And if they're selling $2 billion a year, or or 2.5 billion a year now. Will they be raising that? Will that turn into 5 billion, 10 billion? Maybe they'll clean out the retail market from the dealers that are overstocked, and these prices will change. But as long as the deals are cheap, people are going to keep buying them because a lot of money goes into precious metals. These dealers do billions of dollars of sales in precious metals. It is huge, and we are their customers. So, yeah, what will happen in the long term? Well, eventually the market is going to starve Costco when we get back into a serious uptrend into FOMO. I don't know if they'll be able to pick up these metals so cheap and bring them to you so cheap, because my theory is they lose money on virtually every ounce of gold they sell. So my gut tells me this is a marketing gimmick, a stock market gimmick, a Wall Street gimmick to pump up their revenues and capitalize on their high PE ratio. I think the whole market is ready for a fall, and I think Costco is going to be found out for this. But that, I'm very skeptical and, curious about stuff like this, and that's why I'm bringing it to you. So I don't know if this is going to last. This may be a short-term thing, or the prices may come up and then it'll be irrelevant to us. But for the time being, you may want to get the best credit card you can find, links on my website, and you may want to sign up for the Executive Club membership. I'm going to try to put a sign-up page for that if you want to pick that up for the Costco. They might even be offering rebates when you pick up those Executive Club memberships. I noticed that the other day. You may be able to get a rebate for buying it. You may be able to get a 10% off code. Which may or may not work for metals. I'm just not sure about that. If you know about that, let us know. These kicker deals that you may get from Costco when you sign up for the Executive Club. But, if you don't have a Costco near you, then you really want to think twice about signing up for that. But if you buy online from Costco with the Executive Club membership, then maybe they'll ship it to you. It could be a good deal. I pick up all my paper towels and toilet paper and dish soap and, stuff like that at Costco. It's always a better deal for those big bulk buys. And if you're prepping, you definitely want to look at their prices on some of those staples, right? And then they definitely have stuff. But what happens to everybody who's new to Costco, as an aside, you walk into the store, you pick up your cheap toilet paper and your cheap paper towels, and then you probably buy some meat. It's overpriced at Costco, high quality, overpriced. And then walking out, you see that patio set. And it's like, damn, that's a nice patio set, nice high quality, reasonable price. And you wind up buying a $1,000 patio set, which probably has a 30% profit margin on it, right? So if they can bring you into the store and get you to buy tools or patio sets or dehydrators or, whatever you're looking for, and get you to buy that stuff, then that'll increase their profit margin. So I'd be curious how many of these new Executive Club memberships will result in people buying some of their more exotic consumer items. The jury's out on that. So that's what I have for you today. I'd love to hear your comments. I want to hear from everybody on this. Thank you for the poll. And, I don't have a definitive answer, but I do know precious metals are cheap and the community loves it, and a lot of people are buying them there. So let us know if you're doing that as well and what you've purchased. If you purchase, some people are picking up 5 ounces of gold at a time, and it's one per customer. It's one lot per customer per release. So you could pick up 5 ounces of gold from Costco, if the deals come out, every day for the rest of your life and get it under spot. Matter of fact, you can do that. You can sell it back to JM Bullion for over spot, or at least at spot. No, probably over spot. So you could probably, do an arbitrage on these deals, if you really were serious about picking up, the money on the floor. But what are you doing? What are you buying? Are you buying multiple times? And what are you buying? That's what I'd love to know from the community. That's all I have for you today. Check out my other video on the best deals today. If you are, I'll put a link to it right above. And if you're going to buy at the best price. Come on with Louie, and we'll find you the best price online every day at bestsilvergolddeals.com. Thanks, guys, and I appreciate if you would support the sponsor of this video. Link in the description. Thank you so much.